Welcome to another video from Gweilo 60. This is day 5 of the quarantine in Nanning City, and you know what? I haven't shaved for 5 days, and well, not quite 5 days, 4 days, because we're just starting our 5th day here. And Wei Fong got caught in my room today, and we're under quarantine. She got her wings clipped. She is no longer allowed out of her room, even into the hallway. And you know what? Because she was come over to my room, I'm not allowed out of my room and in the hallway either. So like, I get to open my door 2 times a day for getting my temperature taken, 3 times a day to pick up my food, and once every 2 days to get a COVID-19 test. Yes, but you know what? That's not this video. What this video is about. I've been doing. Oh, poor me. I'm quarantined in China, and that gets a little boring after a while. So, although I am quarantined in China, look at the view back here, eh? Ain't that pretty? Nanning's a beautiful place. What I'm going to talk about today is conspiracy theories. Oh yes, and you know, you've heard all of the conspiracy theories that have been out there, and people send them to me. They send me links, they send me comments, they actually PM me and say, have you seen this, have you seen that? And so I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to listen to these guys. But listen and believe or think it's the truth are 2 different things. And I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm going to throw some shit at you, and I'm going to leave it up to you to see what you believe. And there's going to be a couple different theories here, and well, let's get into it. And I'm not going to get into the little nitpicky numbers and stuff. It's going to be sort of an overall thing. So if you want to follow this a little bit further, you're going to have to go on the internet and check this shit out for yourself. But anyway, where did the coronavirus actually start? That's a conspiracy theory. You've got Taiwan institution with virologists saying, ooh, this never started in China. Okay, you've got a Japanese institute saying, no, this never started in China. You got Daniel Lucy from Georgetown University in Washington D.C. saying, well, this started way before they found this virus in the seafood market in Wuhan. And why do they say this? Okay, so you got Taiwan research centers, research center, and a virologist saying, well, this never started in China, guys. Why not? Well, they've got haplotypes. I have no idea what that is. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I did read it, but they say it's variations or mutations to this coronavirus. Yes, and they say there's 5 variations or mutations to this coronavirus, and the Taiwan doctor said, virologist, doctor, whatever you want to call him, said that the variation that they have in Taiwan is not the same variation that they have in China. Okay, bear with me. So you get into Japan, and Taiwan doesn't like mainland China, the province of Taiwan. So, you know, if he's spouting stuff that's in favor of China, you sort of have to listen to it a little bit. Okay, so you get into Japan, and now they've got a researcher in Japan and an institute in Japan saying exactly the same thing. Well, the variation of the coronavirus in Japan is not the same one that's in China. Not only that, but it had to have started earlier than the Wuhan virus. And because they have different variations, the Wuhan virus, and I'm gonna call it the Wuhan virus, I'm gonna call it the Korean virus, I'm gonna call it the Japanese virus, the Italian virus. Bear with me here for a bit. So the Wuhan virus didn't originate in the seafood market like they said it did. It had to be introduced. The Taiwan virologist said so. The Japanese virologist said so. So why would you not believe these guys? Okay, because Japan does not like China either. Okay. And there's lots of Chinese scientists, virologists and stuff saying the same thing. But we're not going to go there because you're not, as a viewer, as a Western viewer, you're not going to believe that. So I'm going to leave the Chinese stuff out of it for now. Well, probably for this whole video. We'll get into that in another video. Okay, now you've got Daniel Lucy. He's a professor at Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. He says, oh, no, this virus started way before the Wuhan seafood market. He says, like, there's just no way. It had to be introduced there. Why? 5 varieties. The only 5 varieties of this coronavirus out in the world, and the A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, I'm not sure which one is which in which country, but the China coronavirus is different than the Taiwan coronavirus, is different than the Korean coronavirus, is different than the Iranian coronavirus, and is different than the Italian coronavirus. Yes, the difference is their RNA or their DNA. They all come from the same trunk of the tree, but all 5 branches are different, and you can't have a branch without a tree. So what they're saying is it had to come from the place where there is the trunk of the tree and has all 5 viruses. You see, in China, Korea, Italy, Japan, and Iran, they only have 1 branch of that tree. Where is the trunk of the tree? Which country do you think has all 5 variation or haplotypes of this virus? You got it, the United States of America. So let's take this one step further. Robert Redfield, CDC Director, United States of America. Yes, sirree. He's the top dog. In front of Congress, admitted that they misdiagnosed a number of influenza cases. They were actually COVID-19 cases. Coronavirus, you got her. Okay, how far back did this go? Well, he won't say. But what about post-mortems or autopsies on a number of these people that died from, supposedly died from influenza? Yeah, you got it. COVID-19. Damn, guys. So this influenza epidemic that they've been having in the United States over the last year, could it be COVID-19, not influenza? It has the same sort of MO. It does the same thing. It takes out the older folk. Maybe they weren't checking close enough. Then you get into the vaping scene. Yes, you remember back in the news here a couple months ago where, or actually, let's go 6 months ago, back before even Wuhan happened. And people vaping, they were having lung problems. Younger people, yes, the vapors. And their lungs looked like there was ice or glass in their lungs. Okay, when you do an X-ray of a person with COVID-19, what does it look like in their lungs? Glass. Exactly. So is this like a major cover-up by the United States government to make it look like it started in China when it actually started in the United States? You got the vapors that looks like there's glass in their lungs. You got the CDC director, Robert Redfield, saying, we misdiagnosed the influenza people and they were COVID-19. We misdiagnosed the people that died from the postmortems, died from influenza, but they were COVID-19. You've got Taiwan Research Institute saying, oh, this never started in China. This had to start somewhere else, and it had to start a lot earlier than December 8th of 2019. You've got Japanese news coming on in February 2020 saying, ooh, no, this had to start earlier. Not only that, but the RNA isn't the same. It's sort of like the DNA. So the variations of this coronavirus are different. The RNA is different in China, Italy, South Korea, Taiwan, and Iraq. So 5 variations. Okay, and all 5 of those variations are in the United States. What does this all mean to you and me as just lay people? How the hell do we figure this out? Oh, and don't forget Dr. Lucy in Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. saying this had to have started earlier. The only place that has all the variations is the trunk of the tree. The only place in the world that they have the trunk of the tree is in the United States. Now you get back to Fort Detrick, I think it's in Maryland, and the CDC shut that puppy down. They didn't phase it out. And what's Fort Detrick? Well, Fort Detrick had a bio warfare lab, lab of some sort, and they shut that puppy down, and they shut it down now. So now you've got the Japanese saying that it didn't start in China. You got the people from Taiwan saying it didn't start in China. You got Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. says it doesn't start in China, didn't start in China. You've got the director of the CDC saying that we misdiagnosed influenza cases and postmortems actually prove that. Conspiracy theories, guys? Okay, now let's take it even further. With the idea that the vapors were, it looked like there was glass in their lungs. And having known over the last little while, me being in quarantine, I read all this stuff. If you've got COVID-19, why do I say ID all the time? COVID-19. If it turns into pneumonia, it looks like you have glass in your lungs. Okay, all of these things sort of looking like the same thing. How do you call this a conspiracy theory? Look at the let's go back to where it started in Wuhan and say, as they say, it started in Wuhan, and look at the scientific shit behind that. Okay, it started in a seafood wet market in Wuhan, China. Back December 8th, where they found a cluster of people having a sort of a weird pneumonia. All right, that's fine. And for the first 2-3 weeks, they were panicking. They didn't know what to do. People were getting sick, and a large number of these people that were getting sick had been or worked in this seafood market in Wuhan, China. All right. Does it mean that it started there? Absolutely not. Does it mean it was there? Oh, absolutely. So the mainstream media all over the world focused on that, and that's what they say. Oh, it came from bats, rats, freaking pangolin, you name it. Everybody there is bad because they eat wild meat. It's just a rotten, dirty place. I mean, in wet markets, yeah, they can be a little dirty, but that's beside the point. So you take that as a person that watches the news, you take that as the gospel truth. But then when scientists and CDC directors and doctors and research institutes tell you something different, because the mainstream media tells you that it started in this seafood wet market in Wuhan, you take their side over the doctors, the researchers, the people that have gone to university, the scientists that say, what did the guy in Taiwan say? This is just rudimentary science. It's not that difficult to understand this stuff. Okay, and it's all mainstream media out of the United States or the Five Eyes country. So you've got all of this scientific proof on one side, and you've got all of these journalists, so-called journalists, on the other side spouting something else, because one has a voice and the other people don't. In the masses, you believe the one voice over the other. Shame on you. See, this stuff isn't just a couple of carpenters making up these rules. They took 100 different samples from 12 different countries on 4 different continents and found the genome and figured out the variations of this virus and did their due diligence to figure out, okay, where did this originate? How did this originate? What are the different variations? What is the RNA? It's sort of like the DNA of a virus. We have DNA, viruses have RNA. I don't know how it works, and I'm not going to say that I do. But these scientists and virologists and stuff, they've gone down this road before, and they've figured it out that the only place this virus could have come from is the United States of America. The basic logic behind the understanding of where this thing originated is that if you have the most variations of this virus in one geographical place, and you look at China, it's got one variation. You look at South Korea, they've got one variation. Iran, one variation type thing. Okay, but then you look at the United States, this has 5 variations of this coronavirus. So whichever geographical place has the most variations of this virus, chances are really, really, really good that this is where it originated, because it's the trunk of the tree, and these other things are just branches of the tree. So everybody that I've read, their documentation and stuff, everybody that has done a paper on this has said that this did not originate in China. It couldn't have originated in China. It had to have originated in the United States of America. Yeah, and I would imagine that it probably originated in Fort Detrick, because the CDC shut that puppy down in a heartbeat. You've got a history of misdiagnosing the COVID-19 virus, instead of saying it's influenza instead. You've got CDC director saying that this is true. You've got all these researchers, holy smokes, and the only alternative is that mainstream media says, oh, it started in that wet market over there because they're eating bats and rats and snakes and shit. No. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. You tell me what you think in the comment section below. They say, what are you doing, Gweilo, with your time in quarantine? Well, this is exactly what I'm doing. There's been so much talk about this over the last couple of months that I thought, and because I put videos out about China, and I get all of this feedback from you, the viewers, the people that comment, the subscribers, the people that are just interested in China, whether you're a hater or a lover of China, just so long as you're not belittling other people. If you attack another person on my channel, I will just mute you from the channel. Sure, you can watch a channel, you can subscribe, you can do everything, but you can't comment. So if you attack another person, if you attack me, if you attack my wife, you'll be banned from the channel forever. If you attack me, I might let the troll out once, because I've got a penalty box for people that attack me and my subscribers, and then I've got a special penalty box for people that say bad things about my wife. That special penalty box, you're gone forever. So, keep that in mind. If you have constructive criticism, if you have your own ideals and ideas, whether I agree with them or not, I'll leave it on my channel, just so long as you don't attack other people. So keep that in mind when you're making comments on my channel. And this is what I did on day 5 of my quarantine here in Nanning, China. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to hit the bell. Don't forget to resubscribe, because of the stuff I put out, they delete my subscribers on a regular basis. Anyway, and never forget to put a couple bucks in the children's Patreon account. It's for a good cause. It's for poor rural Chinese children. All they need is a helping hand, and help me help them. Thanks for watching. Bye now.